Wermerskirchen, and I'm here with Kim Wermerskirchen.
Hi.
We're the W Real Estate Group Metro Brokers, and today we've started a series called Straight to the Source, and it goes along with our What Is. It's explaining the things that are part of the real estate contract that are outside vendors. So today we have Coe Howe with us from Heritage Title Company.
Thank you.
She's one of our favorite vendors, and title company is what provides you title insurance, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So what is title insurance? Why do people need it?
Absolutely. So unlike a lot of insurances like car insurance where it protects you from future events, title insurance protects you from past events. And it serves two purposes for a buyer when you're purchasing typically your largest financial transaction, right? It's important to make sure that there's a warranty and guarantee that you're purchasing from the rightful owner, and also that you're receiving free and clear title to the property. You certainly don't want to get stuck with any debt from the prior owner.
You mean there's somebody who might try to sell a house that they don't own?
Yes, unfortunately, there are bad people and they do try to commit fraud. We try to prevent those things from happening, but unfortunately, it happens more often than not.
And you also have problems maybe with taxes or a mechanics lien. How's all that covered?
You bet. So as the title company, we ensure that everything is paid at the time of closing, and that can be unpaid water bills, taxes, judgments, IRS state tax liens, mortgages. There's a lot of different things that can attach to a property, and as the new homeowner, you certainly don't want to be left with any of that debt.
No, and I think also you even experienced this when you were selling your house, that you had two mortgages on the property and you had paid one off, and it was still there on the title.
It had not been cleared, yes. So Heritage Title Company had to clear all that from previous, it's not fun to see that stuff on title work, especially when it's your own.
Yeah, things can get a little messy, and that's our job, is to research the property, the sellers and the buyers, and then we create a title commitment, which is kind of an informational document that we send out to all of the parties in the transaction. And we get a question a lot on whether or not they need to sign that document.
Yep.
The title commitment is just informational. It's basically letting you know as the homeowner, seller, or buyer what requirements that we have to meet as the title company in order to get you to the closing table.
So say that I go under contract on February the 20th, and we're not closing until April 1st. So what happens with all that? I mean, you said things in arrear. What happens between that time frame?
Sure. So we prorate anything like water, sewer, property taxes. So typically the seller will pay up to the day of closing, and then the day of closing is actually the buyer. And so we will take care of any prorations through the closing.
Okay, all right. What if when I get the title commitment, something's not on it, and then it comes on it, right before closing? Like, what if a mechanics lien or IRS debt comes on right before closing? What happens?
Yeah, in that case, we first have to determine whether or not it's actually our person.
Oh, wow.
John Smith, that's going to happen to you.
Right, we have a common name.
Yeah, we do.
They have things that will fall out, but yeah, if it is actually dedicated to that individual as the title company, we have to make sure that we get a payoff and make sure that that debt gets satisfied at the time of closing.
You guys have a lot of responsibility.
We do indeed, but we're also honored to protect, right, your largest financial transaction in your life. I mean, that's quite a privilege.
Oh, well, that's a good way to think about it.
See, she's our favorite, man. So HOA documents, how are they dealt with? Do you get those with title?
They don't come with title, but it is a responsibility typically of the seller to provide to the buyer. So we generally will reach out to the seller and have them sign an authorization form, which allows us to then vet the documents, make sure that all the required documentation is provided to the buyer. And that's just, protection for the seller in providing that information.
So you have, when you get that title work, it has the requirements.
Yes.
And then it has all these exceptions. And then there's always something about the railroad owning all this stuff underneath there. Well, I don't even understand that. What do we need to do, Amber? Because that's kind of scary, when somebody opens it up and sees all that. What do you tell your clients?
Oh, I tell them to first contact an attorney, but really, first and foremost, is to call the title company. That's what they're there for. They can explain title work way better than I can explain title work, because that's what they do day in and day out. So first of all, call the title company. If you still don't understand, call a lawyer.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're here as a resource to your homeowners. We're happy to field any questions that they have.
Great.
And there's another thing, if water rights are ever on title, what do you tell them?
Oh, attorney.
Yeah, don't even call them, just call an attorney.
Straight to the attorney.
Exactly.
I
That's
do
really
have
complicated.
a question I get a lot, is why they have to pay for it twice. So some buyers will see that they have to pay for the title insurance at closing, and then their lender requires it as well.
Yeah, so there's actually two separate policies. There's the owner's title policy, and that fee, it's a one-time premium, is based on the sales price. That owner's title policy is specifically required to protect the buyer. Again, giving them free and clear title to the property. That second policy is actually a lender title policy. And that does not have anything to do with the seller or the buyer. It actually protects the lender, and it makes sure that their loan is in first lien position, which means that you as a homeowner, whether you're refinancing or you're selling, that lender is going to have their loan paid off first.
They're very picky about that.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So much.
So it is protection for the lender.
Yes.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
again, it goes to show that, there is a reason to use a realtor, and we do understand these things, but we also got great people that back us up to help us make sure we do understand it right.
There's a lot of moving parts in the real estate contract, and there's a lot of people involved. They say that a real estate transaction affects 7 different industries. So they're not industries, but 7 different businesses. So we make sure that we use the best and the brightest of those to protect you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's so very important, obviously.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us
Oh,
today.
my pleasure.
One of our
Thank
great
you.
vendors are with us, and we will have more with us in the future.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if you have any other questions, always reach out to one of us, or if we don't know the answer, we'll send you to Kelly.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Da-da-da-da-da.